Welcome back. This is episode 241 of the Veterinary Business video show. In this episode we'll learn how to keep your MOPS and FLOPS under control with a dragon, and we'll be reminded to stop complaining when there's so much to celebrate. We'll hear why advice for beekeepers could be your USP. We'll learn how J5M could keep you motivated, and I'll offer you my quick business tip for this episode. I'm John Sheridan, and this is the video show from Veterinary Business. At the end of January, I published my 60th weekly video blog about current issues in the business world of veterinary practice. It starts every weekend when I start to think about possible topics and draft an outline script. I could, I suppose, record it without a script and with just a few headline notes, but I suspect that I would tend to ramble on, cover the same points, but take 3 times as long. I finalise the script on the Monday, record and edit the video on Tuesday morning, upload it to YouTube and publish it every Wednesday. My wife tolerates the mess when I convert my office into a make-do studio every week, probably I think because she thinks it keeps me out of mischief. Here's one of my early vlogs. It's called Keep Your MOPS and FLOPS Under Control with a Dragon.
What are MOPS and FLOPS? Well, you may remember from your childhood the stories of Peter Rabbit and his friends, including Mopsy, Flopsy and Cottontail, books by Beatrix Potter. My MOPS and FLOPS aren't rabbits, but acronyms, to remind all of us involved in the business of veterinary practice to look out for every opportunity to offer and deliver professional services appropriate for the needs of our patients. So MOPS stands for Missed Opportunities for Delivering Professional Services, and FLOPS stands for a failure to look out for opportunities for delivering professional services. If the agreed systems and protocols in your practice require clinicians to provide a thorough clinical examination and record a full history, comprehensive clinical findings and recommendations on every single occasion, the number of MOPS and FLOPS might be small. But I guarantee that a close review of the clinical records in your practice for, say, the last day or two will reveal at least 1 or 2 MOPS and possibly even a FLOP. Now, monitoring clinical records effectively does take some time, expertise and commitment. So maybe in addition to a Mopsy and a Flopsy, the new animal recruits in your practice, you also need a dragon. Someone, maybe a vet or a nurse or a practice manager, maybe an experienced receptionist, someone who knows your practice inside out and backwards and who's likely to be respected and listened to by every member of the team, and who will, maybe on a random basis, search your clinical records for MOPS and FLOPS. If I worked for you as a vet and I knew that a friendly dragon was monitoring my work, I'd want to keep my MOPS and FLOPS under control. Wouldn't you?
Now let's see who's on the video show Soapbox. Do you ever think about some of the lessons you learned as a child, lessons taught to you by your parents or by your teacher when you were just knee-high to a grasshopper? One of the earliest lessons I can recall was being told by my mother to stop complaining and count your blessings when things didn't quite go the way I'd hoped. Here's an updated Stop Complaining clip, this time from Gary Vaynerchuk, a Belarusian-American entrepreneur, author, speaker, and internet personality.
What if I told you this was the last Monday morning of your life? What if I told you you died this week? Would you complain about your crap job or that test you don't want to take? I doubt it. You would go much higher level thinking. Well, that's really what it takes. It takes understanding that if you're not pumped right now, if you're begrudging what you're about to do, if you're not looking forward to it, look, I respect practicality. You got to go through school because your parents want to. You got to pay your rent. You got student loans. I get it. But please recognize the world we're living in. We're living in a world where there's so much more opportunity. This internet thing created way more opportunity for all of us. Way more. I mean, look, you might not even be alive. Like, your mom and dad could have had sex like 3 minutes later and you wouldn't even exist and you're complaining. You could have ended up being a bus, a tree. I just don't get the mentality of being head down sad on a Monday morning. I'm gonna make Monday morning my I'm gonna make you Saturday Monday morning. That's what I want to do every morning, and that's what I want from you. Please take a step back and think about how awesome it actually is. And then recognize that you can attack the world in a totally different way because you were lucky enough to be born during this.
Now for a tip from the top in the business world of veterinary practice. One of the ways that practice owners can respond to the pressure of increased competition is to find a small niche market and develop an expertise in offering professional services and advice unique for that market. Could the growing number of beekeepers be such a market in your part of the world? Here's a clip in which Bash Hello talks with Chris Kipps, a vet with a particular interest in honeybees.
If you look at the hive production of a professional beekeeper versus a hobbyist, which is what most of the beekeepers are in America, is my understanding. The professional beekeepers produce about twice as much honey per hive as the hobbyist. And my thought was, if veterinarians become involved with helping beekeepers manage their bees, do you think that we will be able to increase productivity and perhaps grow a whole industry?
Right now, the commercial beekeepers, they're invested in the industry, they know what they're doing, they've been doing it for a long time, and their living depends on it. The hobbyist beekeeper, it's kind of a nice business for us to be in because it's disposable income. Some of the hobbyists care about what's going on, some of the hobbyists don't care about what's going on. They're trying to do their part to help out the environment, help out the bees, and they may not be doing their part to try to increase honey production. We have a big problem with varroa mites. So that's a mite that wasn't in the US before 1987, and that mite spreads viruses and makes honeybees sick if they get these viruses. So having good mite control is very important for the honeybees, and that's one of the things that I think veterinarians can do is help spread that word and educate people about how to treat for mites, so that people can keep their bees healthy.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting where, there I am and I'm living out in the country and I get this beehive and I think I'm doing all this good thing for the environment, and you actually cautioned me if I don't take care of the bees and if they're not healthy, I could actually be like transmitting bugs, literally bugs, the varroa mite, and the diseases that they bring to all the other hobbyists out there and potentially the commercial beekeepers, and I'm making actually a detrimental effect on the whole beekeeping world.
Right. Bees fly for 3 miles in any one direction, so there's lots of overlap. The bees see each other at flowers, they visit their hives. If one hive is sick and dies, other bees from the area can come, rob out all the honey. They get all that honey, but then they also take home all the diseases.
One of the characteristics of a great leader is their ability to motivate members of their team. But sometimes the more immediate challenge is to motivate themselves when things go wrong. Here's a clip in which Dan Pink offers some advice.
Hi everyone, welcome to another Pinkcast. Today I want to share with you a super simple technique I've been using for years when my motivation is flagging or I feel like quitting. It turns out that lots of other people I know have used a version of this. It doesn't have a name, so let's name it right now. Let's call it J5M. J5M. Here's what it means. Just 5 more. So if I'm facing a daunting pile of email that I don't feel like dealing with, I say to myself, just 5 more. Answer 5 more emails, then you'll be done. Let's say I'm out running and I'm tired and it's hot and I want to quit. I say to myself, just 5 more minutes, then you can quit. Let's say I'm reading something for work and it's not that interesting, but I have to finish it. I say to myself, just 5 more pages. Here's what happens. A lot of times, that just 5 more becomes just 10 more, or just 15 more, or occasionally, just 20 more. You get back on track. But even when that doesn't happen, you've still accomplished something. You've answered 5 more emails. You've run for 5 more minutes. You've read 5 more pages. So, Pinkcast viewers, give that a try. If you like this episode, just watch 5 more.
So what's my quick business tip? Well, it's this. I haven't consciously tried Dan Pink's J5M technique. But if you ever feel the need to motivate yourself to work, to study, to exercise, to diet, to spend more time with the family or whatever it may be, here's my advice. First, remind yourself why you want to do it. Second, break the task down into small chunks. Third, promise yourself a reward when you get something done, and then keep reminding yourself that if you can imagine it, you can do it. Well, that's about it for now. I'm John Sheridan, and this has been another video show from Veterinary Business. See you next time.